Welcome to the testing world. In this session, we need to understand what is software testing. So we are going to understand this process in 3 steps. So first of all, we start with software testing can be defined as a process to test the application under different conditions. Okay, here we need to understand what do you mean by the different conditions. Okay, let me move to my application and here I'm just logging out. So that's my application and I am on the login page of my application. Now I have a task to test this login functionality of the application. So my first condition would be I'm just putting correct username and correct password. That's my first condition. Now in this case, user should be logged in. Then I'm going for second condition in which I'm giving correct username but incorrect password. We should not log in that. Third condition could be we are giving incorrect username but correct password. Now I'm trying to log in. So that's my third condition. Now my fourth condition is I'm just leaving username blank and giving the correct password. Now I'm trying to check. So if you see, we are testing our application with different conditions, and these conditions involve positive as well as negative conditions. Positive means we are giving correct input, we are following correct steps. Negative means we are giving incorrect input, incorrect steps. So here, first step is software testing can be defined as a process in which we test our application under different conditions. Second is over a period of time. Okay, what does it mean? If we started the application today, maybe after 1 month, you get some functionality to test. So I take an example, the project is started on 1st of Jan. We got the registration page on 1st of Feb to test it. Now we complete the testing of that page. It's not like we will not test it again. We have to test the same thing again and again many times until we deliver that application to the client. So we are testing that same thing over a period of time again and again in the cyclic way. So perform testing in the cyclic way until you deliver application to the client. And third point, which is most important, evaluating the result. Okay, what does it mean? It means whenever we are testing, we have two outputs. One is expected result and other one is actual result. Okay, let me take you to one more scenario. So I'm here on my another application and there is a search functionality. Okay, I'm searching here iPhone. As I click on the search button, we should get some result, but I'm getting only one result. Is this functionality is working correctly? Because we are getting result. So is it working correctly? I don't know, because it might be possible as expected we should get 5 result, but we are getting only one result. So the point is, before going for the testing, we should have expected results. And these expected results will come from the client requirement. So first of all, we understand the client requirement, and from there we get expected result. When we are testing our application, we are getting actual result. At the end of each scenario which we are testing, we are comparing actual result with expected result. If it is passed, then testing is passed, else it is failed. So expected result is taken from the client requirement, actual result coming from the application when we are testing. We need to compare and evaluate it is passed or not. So here, if I take an example, my expected result was when you search for the iPhone, we should get 5 results. We should get 5 iPhones, but we are getting only one. Means testing is failed over here. But if we are expecting only one result and we are getting one result, means testing is passed. So here, for each testing which we are doing, we need to compare actual result with expected result. So here we have seen a basic definition, a practical definition of Software testing. Here we understand software testing with three simple points. In this session, I'll show you what is the difference between product and project. But before moving to this topic, first we need to understand why as a tester we need to understand this. So whenever you are going to work in any organization, you will get this term product or project many times. Sometimes they will say, okay, we are a product based organization. Some companies say we are a project based organization, or they call it service based organization. So project and service is same. So what do you mean by that? So first of all, I'll start with the project. So project are the software in which we have a client give us requirement. On the behalf of the requirement, we develop and test any software. Once the software is developed and tested, now we deliver that software to the client. So here we have a client, we got requirement. According to the requirement, we develop some software, and once it is developed and tested, we deliver it to the client. So here project are the software which is developed on the basis of the client requirement. We take the requirement from the client, develop software, and then deliver to the client. So that is a project. In project or service based organization, you will directly interact with the client. You will have a lot of meetings with the client. There will be a lot of email exchange with the client. And if you heard about the client side opportunities, or I'll say on-site opportunities, so you will get that kind of opportunities here in this kind of projects. Now I'll talk about product. So in product, I would say there is a no initial client. Our marketing team, our research team, our sales team will understand the market need and generate some requirement. Now, as per the requirement which are given by the marketing team, sales team, or our research team, we are developing a software. Once that software is developed and tested, now we are giving that software to the marketing team for marketing, for selling it to the outer world. So here we don't have any initial client. We understand the market need, and accordingly we are developing some software. And at the end, we are taking it to the market for sale. You can have a lot of examples of products. All the antivirus. So antivirus companies are looking the market continuously. What kind of threats are there? What kind of viruses are there? What kind of Trojan horse are there? And accordingly, they are developing their software, or we call it antivirus. And once it is developed, they are going to the market and convince user, purchase it. It will save your system from the virus, from the Trojan horse, from the attacks. So that is one of the example of product. If you have seen, different operating system we are using is also the example of product. Now, if we take an example of Microsoft Windows 10, so there is a functionality like we can use it with touch screen. So the point is, Microsoft is continuously researching on the market and check what is the user need. So there is a need like user want to use these OS with touch screen. So they have developed an OS with touch. And now going to the market, you can purchase the software, or we can call it operating system. It will give you touch functionality. So that is called product. There are many other products in the market. Facebook.com, WhatsApp, these are the products of different organizations. So now we got difference between product and project. That's all we have for this session. Thanks for watching this video.
Welcome to the testing world. In this session, we are going to understand what is the difference between manual and automation testing. So manual testing is the testing which is done by user manually without using any tool. All the conditions, or we can say all the cases, will be run by the tester manually without using any automation tool. And after the execution, my tester is going to prepare a report for all the test cases which are passed or failed. So in manual testing, my software tester is going to verify each and every condition manually and going to update result. So I'm using my application. So that's my application. I want to test on this. So in manual testing, everything will be done by the tester itself. We are not going to use any automation tool. So I'm coming over here, like I want to test this search functionality. So I'm going to the application, I'm writing like iPhone, click on the search button, we are getting some result, and we will verify that we are getting the correct result or not. So everything is done manually in the case of manual testing. Now moving to the automation testing. So in automation testing, we are doing the testing by using any automation tool like QTP, LoadRunner, Selenium, and many other tools. So in automation testing, as a tester, we are going to create automation scripts. And once we create the automation script, after that, every time the testing will be done by these automation tool, or we can say automation scripts. So I'll give you a very small example of the automation testing. I'm here on my website and I'll show you how we can use automation tool. The name of the automation tool is Selenium. So I'm going to use Selenium IDE. So in case of the automation testing, I'm using any tool. Like this time I'm using Selenium IDE. That's the Selenium IDE window. One time I'm creating a script. So here in Selenium IDE, we can record our script. So that is my recording button, which is already in a push mode, means recording is already started. I'm just writing iPhone and click on the search button. We are getting result over here. All the steps are recorded by my Selenium IDE. So now our script is created, automation script is created. Now whenever we want to perform the same testing again, like I want to perform same testing again, and this time on my browser Google is opened. I want to test my application. So in the case of automation, I'm not going to do testing manually, I'll use this script. So how to use this? We have just a run button, so I'm just running it. So here you can see all the actions are performed by this tool. So in case of the automation testing, we are going to use any automation tool for the testing purpose. And in manual testing, we are doing all the things manually. We are going to perform all the actions manually. We will verify actual and expected result. We will create a report. So everything will be done manually. But in case of the automation testing, we are using any automation tool. Whenever we are going for the automation testing, first of all, we have to create automation script. It's a one-time effort. Once automation scripts are created, then we can use the same script to test the application again and again. So here we have seen what's the difference between the manual and automation testing. That's all we have for this session. In this session, we are going to understand what are the different type of applications. So normally we are having three type of application: window-based application, web-based application, and client-server application. We will understand the difference between all these three kind of applications. So first of all, window-based application. Window-based application are those applications which we are going to install on one system and can be used on the same system only. That kind of applications are window-based applications. I'm taking example of Microsoft Word. So if you see here, it's a Microsoft Word. I have installed Microsoft Word on my system and I can use this application on my system only. If I have another system and I want to use Microsoft Word on the another system, then I'll have to install this Word again on the another system. So this is window-based application which can be used only on the same system. I'll give you a few more examples, like if you talk about calculator. So calculator is the application, it's a window-based application. We can use this application on the system on which it is installed. So that calculator is installed on my system, so I can use it. If you want to use it on any other system, so we will have to install it on the other system as well. So that kind of application is called window-based application, means installed on one system, can be used on the same system only. Next, I'm moving to the web-based applications. So web-based applications are the applications which are deployed on anywhere on the server, and we can access those applications by using its URL and browser. So we are going to the browser and putting the URL, and we can access that application. So this application is deployed somewhere else on the server. We are just accessing that application by using URL, browser, and internet. So that kind of application is called web-based application. We have many more web-based application. If you talk about Google, so Google is again a web-based application because we can access Google by using browser, URL, and internet. Next, we are moving to the client server application. So client server application are the application which are quite similar to the web-based application. Means these applications are also deployed on the server, but we cannot access these applications by hitting the URL. So that application is deployed on the server, but we cannot access these applications by using URL. If you want to use that application, we have to install their client software. Means application is deployed on the server, we can access that application, we can connect with the application only by installing, only after installing client software in our machine. So here I give you an example of the Skype. Skype is an application which is deployed on some server, but Skype cannot be accessed by entering the URL in the browser. If you want to access Skype, we have to install Skype client software. So here we can see we have installed client software of the Skype, and now we can enter username and the password, and it's going to connect with the server. So ultimately we can access application only after installing the client software. So that is my client software of the Skype. So Skype is a client server application. So here we have seen three different type of applications we are having. One is window based, web based, and client server, and we have already gone through the difference between all these kind of applications. I'll give you one more example of all these three kind of application. Like if we talk about the window based application, so we are going to install many games in our system. Whatever the games you have installed in your system, that all are window based application, because we can install it on one system and we can access it, we can use it on the same system. Web-based application are deployed on the server. We can use them by using URL, browser, and internet. Web-based application example could be like gmail.com, yahoo.com, facebook.com. So these are web-based application. Client server application. So client server application is quite similar to the web-based. Example of the client server, we have already seen Skype. If you know about the Yahoo Messenger, that is one of the client server application. If you know about Gtalk, that is again a client server application. So that's all we have for this session. Here we have what are the common type of applications and what's the difference between all these type of applications. That's all we have. Thanks for watching this video.
In this session, I'll explain levels of testing. So here we are not covering what are the different type of testing. We are covering level, means what all the different levels we are going to perform testing. Again, it's not a type of testing. So here we start with the unit testing, then we'll move to the integration, then system, and then acceptance. We also call it UAT. So first of all, start with the unit testing. If I take an example, in complete project development process, first of all, as a developer, I am developing one module. A developer B is developing his own module, his own functionality. Developer C is working on the different code. So when as a developer, I have completed my module, or I'll say whatever the functionality I am developing, I have completed that as a developer. Now, first level of testing is unit testing, which is majorly done by the developer. So as a developer, once I complete my development of a particular module, I'll test it is working correct or not. So the first level of testing is the unit testing, which is performed on the coding level, mainly done by the developer. And here developer is checking its particular module or the particular functions he has written is working correctly or not. Mostly as a tester, we are not involved in this level, means we are not involved in the unit testing. As a developer, I'm doing my unit testing. Developer B is doing his own testing. Developer C is doing his own unit testing. Now, I take an example like I was working on the login module, and developer B is working on the registration module, and developer C is working on home page. Now we are doing our unit testing, and unit testing is passed. Now we need to deliver this application to the testing team for further level of testing. So first of all, we all developers are going to integrate our code. Means my module was login, second was registration, third was homepage. We are integrating all these modules together. We are generating a single application. We also call it build. So I'm generating a build. Once it is done, means once all three modules are together integrated together, now we are delivering this application to the testing team for further testing process. So the testing which is performed when two or more modules are combined together, the testing is called integration testing. So from this level, software tester role is started. So now when two or more modules are combined together, the testing which is performed is called integration testing. Mainly in the integration testing, we are checking data and control flow. What do you mean the data and control flow? So I'm just moving to the application and I take an example over here. Okay, I'm on the home page. I'm here on shop.thetestingword.com. Okay, I'm searching iPhone here. That's my data. As I click on search button, we are getting a new page. And if you check on the new page, data is transferred over here. Also it reflect over here. So that's a data flow from one module or from one page to another module or another page. Control flow. Control flow means, as I take an example, like this checkout is another page. So two pages are combined together and we have the option to move to the checkout page. So if I click on the checkout, I'm moving to the correct page or not. That is my control flow. We are moving the control from one page or from one screen to another screen. So in integration testing, mainly we are checking data and control flow. And from this point, the role of the software tester is started. Now, developer A is developing fourth module, developer B is developing fifth module, developer C is developing sixth module. After that, they again integrated that. So developer are developing new modules and every time they integrated it with application and we are getting the build. So again, we are doing integration testing. So integration testing will run in a loop until the complete application is developed. So once complete application is developed, we will move to the next level of testing, which is system testing. So system testing is the testing which is performed when complete application is ready for the testing. Once as a tester, we get complete application which is ready for the testing. This level is called system testing. Now we are involved in the system testing. Once we as a software testing team complete our testing and it is passed. Passed means yes, the application is working as expected from testing point of view. Now we will share this application to the client, and when the client is going to receive this application, one level of testing will be performed by the client or any person which is placed by the client for this testing. So level which is performed here, that is called acceptance testing or user acceptance testing. So this level where client is checking application is working as expected or not, the level of testing is called acceptance testing. I give a very simple example. When we are going to the market, or I'll say we are going to the vegetable market and purchasing some fruits or vegetables, if you pick any apple, so I'm just rolling it to check it should not have any issues. So what we are doing? We are doing acceptance testing. Before accepting the software or before accepting the any vegetable or fruits, I'm just checking is it as per expectation or not. So this level of testing is called acceptance testing. This is mainly the responsibility of the client. So if I check as a software tester, my role is started from the integration and till system. But as per the client requirement, if the client need, we can be involved in the acceptance testing as well. But it depends. Like if the client want us to involve, so we are going to do acceptance testing for the client. But normally we have a specific position BA, which is business analyst, or any other person which is placed by the client is going to do that. Also, mainly we are not involved in the unit testing. But if you are a good programmer, if you are working as a software tester, but still you are a good programmer, so company can involve you in the unit testing as well. But Majorly, we are working on integration as well as system testing levels. Welcome to the testing world. In this session, we are going to cover different type of testing. So previously we have seen what is software testing. Now we are going to check how we can differentiate different type of testing. So majorly we can divide our testing process into two parts. One is functional testing and other one is non-functional testing. So functional testing is where we are checking functionality of the application. We take an example of the Gmail. So there is one functionality of login. There is another functionality of registration. Then we have third functionality of email send. Fourth functionality, we can chat with someone else. So we have lot of functionality in our application, and when we are testing our application for their functionality, that is called functional testing. Then all testing which are other than functional testing, it could be GUI testing, it could be usability testing, it could be performance testing, security testing. So many testing which are not functional, we call it non-functional testing. So functional, we are checking the functionality of the application. So if I come here, we are checking functionality, and other than functionality, whatever the testing we are covering, that is non-functional. So I'll check other than functional. Okay, now I take on my application. That's my application. As you go to the URL like thetestingword.com/testings, that's my application URL. Here, first of all, we have to go for the registration. Then, once you make the registration, then we have a login functionality. So, if I just log in here, then we have, you can change your profile, you can view your profile, you can upload your image. So, these are the functionality of the application. Also, we have one more application like, so the application is shop.thetestingword.com. Here also, that's similar to the e-commerce website, e-commerce application. Also, you will find out a lot of functionalities over here. Like we have a search functionality. If I search here like iPhone, I click on the search button. So that's one functionality, which is a search functionality. Then we have add to cart functionality. If I click here, item is added to the cart, that's a add to cart functionality. Then we have checkout functionality. We have lot of functionalities over here. So when we are checking functionality of the application, that is called functional testing. And what all the testing which we are doing other than functional testing is called non-functional. Like if I ask you, I should get a logo on the left hand side, check logo is there or not and correct or not. So here you are checking, yes, we have a logo over there. Also, you are checking that's a correct logo or not. Sometimes you need to check the size of that. So that comes under the GUI testing, that is non-functional testing. Also, if I ask you, whenever you are going to add any item to the cart, the button color should be changed to yellow. But here, if check it here, after adding an item to the cart, still the button is black. That is, we are checking item is added to the cart, means functionally it's correct, but the color is not changing. So UI testing, GUI testing is failing over here. So in the same way, we have the different type of testing. If I take an example of performance testing, so I'm going to the home first page, and here I enter some data. Now I click on the search button. I want to check how much time my next page is taking to load. In our case, it is loading very fast, but it might be possible it is taking some time. So we need to verify the time, how much time it is taking. That comes under the performance testing, which is again a non-functional testing. So broadly, we can divide our testing process into two different sections. One is functional and other one is non-functional. Now, we have a lot of testing which comes inside these sections, which we are going to cover in the coming sessions. Welcome to the testing world. In this session, I'm going to explain bug life cycle. First of all, we need to understand what do you mean by the bug life cycle. While doing software testing, if I find any bug, we are going to report this bug into any bug reporting tool like JIRA, Bugzilla, Mantis. So when we report any bug into these tools, reporting means we are filling the information of the bug into the tool so that anybody can see it and do actions on that. Means if it is a developer, he will understand the bug, he will try to fix it. If it is a manager, So manager can check like how many bugs we are having, what is the impact of this bug. So we are reporting our bug to any bug reporting tool. So when we report any bug to the bug reporting tool, from this point the bug is started. A point will come when the bug is going to be closed, means this bug is fixed by developer and verified by the QA. At that time bug is going to be closed. All the actions and the stages which comes in this cycle, like from bug is started and bug is terminated, the whole process is called bug life cycle. Means from the point bug is started and the point where bug is terminated, or I'll say closed. So that's a standard bug cycle we need to understand. First of all, I'm just coming here on the new. As a tester, I'm doing testing and I found a bug in the application. So if I take an example, I'm moving to application which is shop.thetestingworld.com. I need to test this. For testing this, I'm testing the search functionality of this application. So I'm searching like iPhone. Okay. So now I'm searching the iPhone and as expected, I should get 3 results. But if I check here, we are getting only 1 result. Means this search functionality is not working as expected. So it's a bug. Whenever we find any bug, we are going to report that bug into bug reporting tool. When we report any bug to the bug reporting tool, the first status would be new. Means it's a new bug. So when a new bug is created by the tester, status would be new. Now the second point is, as per the standards, whatever the bug which is reported by any tester, lead of the testing team will have to verify that. I'm working as a lead, so whatever the bug which is reported by my team members, I'll verify this bug is correct or not. And I found it's a valid bug. So I'll set the status open. So here my tester is working, who is reporting that bug. Here as a lead, I'm verifying the bug is correct or not. If correct, I'll set it open. Now next, as a testing team, our task is done. Now from here, the task of development team will be started. So now as a development lead, I check how many bugs we are having which are open. So this bug will come into the picture. Developer lead will assign this bug to any developer. Once the bug or defect is assigned to any developer, the status would be assigned. Now bug is assigned to the developer, so this bug is in the bucket of developer. Now developer will start working on that bug. So as a tester, I say it's a bug, but developer will also verify it is a correct bug or not. So here we have the multiple options. Now the bug is assigned to the developer. Developer has multiple options. So now first of all, as a developer, I'm going there and checking, is it really a bug? Okay, as a developer, I go to the application, I check it. I found, as expected, I should get only 1 result, because in my database as of now we have only 1 iPhone. Means it's not a bug. For whatever the reason, developer is not accepting that bug. It might be the first reason, that is not a valid bug, or developer is not able to replicate your bug. For whatever the reason, if developer is not accepting it is a bug, in that case developer will set it rejected. Developer will reject your bug. So if developer don't accept that bug, mark it rejected. Second, as a developer, I tried to replicate that bug, and yes, I found it seems to be a bug, because we should get at least 3 iPhones over here. I'm agreed that that's a bug, but as of now I'm working somewhere else. I'm working on some other important task. As of now I cannot work on this. So in that case, I'll mark it deferred. Deferred means, yes, as a developer I'm accepting it's a bug, but for whatever the reason I'm not working on it as of now. I'm just deferring it for the later. If this bug cannot be fixed as of now, reason could be anything. Might be it belongs to the third party tool. Third party tool means any tool which we are using here in my application, internal other application which I'm using in my current application. That could be one reason. Or bug we can ignore it as of now, because when the new functionality will develop, this bug will automatically fix. So for whatever the reason, I'm accepting it's a bug, but I'm not sorting out this bug. I'll set up status deferred. So that will be done by developer. So we have seen rejected, we have seen deferred. Now the third point is, yes, as a developer, I try to replicate that bug. Yes, I'm able to replicate it. And yes, I accepted it's a bug. I'm going to work on it. Means I'm going to fix that bug. So now developer will go to the code, will make required changes. And once the bug is fixed, developer will mark it fixed. So now here the developer task is done because developer has completed his bug and mark this bug as fixed. Next, when developer mark any bug fixed, we'll get the information, okay, this bug is fixed. You will get this fix in the next build. As a tester, we got a new build. Now I need to verify that bug is fixed or not. When we verify and I found this bug is still persist, this is still not fixed, in that case, I will reopen that bug. But when you reopen that bug, try to give as much information as possible. Means we will give the new screenshot, we will give updated data. So whatever the maximum information you can put with the bug, you have to put it while reopening. Now, once the bug is reopened, it is again assigned to developer by the development lead, and again the same process, rejected, deferred or fixed. Second, developer fixed that bug. As a tester, we got the build. I'm testing this bug is fixed or not. So if this bug is fixed, I'll set it verified. Now my lead will verify it one more time. As a tester, I have verified, so I'll mention verified. But as a standard, my lead will verify it one more time, and if it is verified, like it is really closed, lead will close it. So that's a standard bug lifecycle. But we are going to face few interview questions over here. So I'm going to explain these interview questions. First, do you follow this bug lifecycle? Answer is yes, but not completely. I have seen in practical, we are not following this open and verified stage. Why? Because in real, if as a tester I have reported a bug, so that's a final. Now it will go directly to the developer. My lead will not verify it's a correct or not, because as a tester, it's my responsibility to verify it again before reporting a defect. So if I'm reporting a bug or defect, means it will be a valid defect, my lead will not verify it again. In the same way, if developer fixed that bug, status is fixed. As a tester, I'm checking the bug is fixed or not. And if it is fixed, I'll directly make it close. I'll not set it verified. So here, this open and verified stage is not used when we are working on the real-time applications. Next is deferred. What will you do if developer deferred your bug? If developer deferred my bug, I cannot do anything, because if developer deferred that bug, means developer accepted it's a bug, but it's not going to fix it. So whenever developer deferred any bug, he or she will put comments on the bug. Means we are using any bug reporting tool, we will have a comment section. Whenever he is deferring, he will put the comments over there. So as a tester, I can just go and check the comments. Okay, for whatever the valid reason, he put the comment. If I'm satisfied with the reason, I'll not do anything in that. If developer is not giving any valid comment, so it's not my responsibility to check it. It's the responsibility of development lead to check it, why this bug is not fixed or why this bug is deferred. So we as a tester are not bothered about why he is deferred, but in few cases, when you think this bug is very important, need to be fixed as soon as possible, in that kind of cases, we can do a follow-up. Follow-up could be in our stand-up calls, which is followed in the Agile, or through the emails. So we can follow up, but it's not mandatory. Now the next and most important question is, what will you do if developer rejected your bug? So developer is rejecting my bug. Here we can have two conditions. One, my bug is not valid. Developer find out and it's not a valid bug. He just rejected. Once he rejected, I verified again, and yes, it was my mistake. I was not following the correct steps, or I'll say I was not following the correct requirement, and I accept that's not a valid bug. So if developer rejected my bug and that's not a valid bug, I'll definitely close it with my proper comments. But the second and the most important case is if developer rejected your bug and you are thinking that's a valid bug. So if developer rejected my bug and I think it's a valid bug but still rejected. So once rejected, I'll verify that bug again. When you're verifying that bug, if you find this is a valid bug and for whatever the reason rejected by the developer, I'll reopen that bug and will try to provide as much information as possible. You can record your scenario, you can attach with the bug, you can take screenshots, you can attach updated client requirements, you can provide whatever the maximum information which is possible with the bug so that developer can understand that bug and will able to replicate it. So we have reopened that bug with maximum possible information. Now again this bug will go to the developer, assigned to the developer. Again developer is verifying, looking my information, looking at my information, but still developer is not convinced and he again rejected my bug. So second time it is rejected, but if the second time your bug is rejected, you still think this is a valid bug, in that case, if I reopen that bug, it will go to the assigned and then it will be cyclic way, like rejected, reopen, rejected, reopen. So first time when the bug is rejected, we are reopening it. But second time if it is rejected and you are confirmed it's a valid defect or I'll say valid bug, in that case I'll call a meeting. Me, developer, my lead, development lead and manager. It could be a small meeting of 15 minutes only. I'll show my bug to the team, or I'll say to everyone in the meeting. Now let the manager decide what will happen with this bug. In 99% cases, manager will ask developer to try to replicate this bug. If he is not able to replicate, he will come to your system. He will check it in your system. It might be possible he is not able to reproduce that bug on his own system. So in that case, he will ask you to show on your system, try to replicate there, try to find out the solution over there. But if I take an 1% example in which manager asked me, no, it's not a valid bug, close it. Now, I have explained that, but still not, manager is not convinced. It's not a bug, you just close it. Because we got the instructions, so we have to do it. I'll definitely close that bug, but whenever we are closing that bug, we'll put the comments why we are closing it. So as per the direction of the superior, I'm just closing this issue. We are putting the comments over there. Like as per the direction of the manager or as the superior, I'm just closing this issue. The point is, we as a tester are not convinced, but still, because we have to follow, hierarchy, I'll have to follow the whatever instructed by my manager. So I'll close it, but with the proper comment. So that's the overall process, or I'll say that's a bug life cycle, and I have already updated you what's a practical bug life cycle, like what we are going to follow in real environment. One more thing I want to update here. As of now, I have just given few names like rejected, deferred, assigned. In different bug reporting tool, these names could be different, but process would be same.